Hey YouTube, this is going to be my last video of 2017 and I'm really excited for 2018. Just so you know, I've made it my New Year's resolution to actually post a new video every week. So hold me accountable. I hope that I can do that. So for the last video of the year, I'm actually going to start a little bit of a series since, again, I'm in no way an expert, not even close to being an expert specifically on mushroom growing. So what I've been doing is just trying to show you from a new mushroom farmer what you have to go through, what you have to buy, some techniques and stuff like that. So starting with the first video next year, it'll actually be some techniques and things to actually make your blocks and to inoculate those blocks. But anyways, just to start off, before you can inoculate blocks and actually make mushrooms and all that, you actually have to have the infrastructure. So I'm just going to go through each room that I have. Every room is set up now fully, and I apologize if I've had anything on here in the past with these rooms. So let's get started on the first room, which is the lab. Alright, so the first video is here of my lab. As you can see, the lab, it's actually one room, but I have it separated into my lab area and the storage area. So, you know, one thing you have to do is obviously keep your lab area free from as many dust particles and all that kind of stuff. And since I mix my substrate in this other half of the room where I'm standing, I really have to have it separated off. So for right now, I just have this like El Cheapo fabric, not fabric, plastic from Home Depot, and I just kind of tack it when I'm using it. I have encapsulated, that's a really big word for this, not encapsulated, I've just included my steamer sterilizer in there, and I'll show you why in another video, but basically it's just so that when I'm working, making blocks, I can make the blocks and then just go straight and put the blocks into my sterilizer without leaving the clean room space. So some things that you're going to need into your lab, or in your lab: stainless steel table, preferably. My first couple of times I just used a white table, you know, just like the folding tables, but I soon learned that they're not big enough. So this one is a 30-inch wide by, it's 8 feet long. And it's got some extra storage space down below, which I highly recommend unless you have just a lot of extra storage space around. These here are two, I believe they're Enviroco laminar hoods. So, and they are 24 inches high by 4 feet long each, so it takes up the whole length of the table. I totally recommend a 24-inch high flow hood because when you're working, you obviously have a taller workspace. What I started with was here. I love this one. This is by Fungi Perfecti. It's hella expensive. It's like $700 for this, and it's like, I don't know, maybe a foot tall by 2 feet wide. I mean, it's tiny. The airflow on this thing, you know, is like the bomb compared to these, but these will definitely do the job. And when I'm working, I actually have all three of them running so that it can scrub the air to the fullest. One thing before I kind of go on any further, like I will do in-depth videos on each room that I'm going to go over on everything I have, like from this, what is this called? Damn, can't think what it's called. Whatever, it's a sealer. So, you know, from the sealers to the lights to the isopropyl and petri dishes and all that jazz. But for now, it's just really going over what's in each room. And then I just have more storage over here. Another thing I have in here is a space heater. Again, I'll explain that later, but it's basically when I'm done incubating everything, I roll my carts into here and I jack up the temperature for a day so that when it does go into the fruiting chamber, there's a big drop in temperature. So here's just my storage room. Some things you're going to need here. A lot of these airtight containers. I actually have ordered like 2 more because you really just can't have enough. For me, it's just the fact that I don't have enough space. A lot of people use these 55, or that might even be 40 gallon, whatever, these drums. I just don't have the room. You see, like, I don't have room for all that. So you can just work with what you have, but these are great. I actually use those right there for my animals. And in here, I just got my fuel pellets, soybean hulls, and in that blue thing, I have bran. And again, when I talk about making blocks, I'll go into why you need all of those. Here again is my incubation room. I think the last time I did a video, I don't think I had anything in here because I don't think I was really making a lot of blocks yet. And this is actually pretty empty because I just put some blocks into one of the chambers, so it's pretty empty. But you'll notice I have these shelving units on rolling casters, which is really important because wherever you're incubating, you're putting your blocks, after you fruit them, after you sterilized or pasteurized them and then inoculate them, they're going to sit in here for 2 to 3 weeks or even 4 weeks for some varieties. So you want them, number one, in a room that's around 72 degrees. Any colder, it's going to take a long time for them to colonize, for the mycelium to colonize the blocks. So you want it in a decently warm room, not too hot, but you definitely want these casters on these shelves because it'll be easy to roll. Like, when you're ready to go into the fruiting block, you can just roll this whole shelf into your fruiting room, which for me is there, and in this other room. I've got 2 fruiting rooms now. So very important. And then for these shelves, you can use these stainless steel ones. I've gotten them from Sam's Club, Home Depot. I actually even ordered them online. So yeah, that's about it. The other thing I did, I personally use these, what do you call it, the little rubber things that go on so you can clean them easily. I'm going to see how these blocks do with them. One thing that you want is a lot of airflow in between the blocks so that you don't get these hot spots. And I know that having that off, it'll restrict a little bit of the airflow from below, but I think because I have, a wide enough room and, they're not all jam-packed on one another, I'm thinking this should be fine, but some people's incubation rooms are like, they're like just jammed in there and it's hot as hell. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Alright, so let's go into the smaller room. So this room right here, I try to keep the door closed because I keep this room pretty chilly, and I had a actually, let me look in here before I go in. It's 54 degrees. I don't know if you can see that. Geez, in my hand. You can see that thermometer there. It's about 54 degrees in here, and maybe just a few degrees colder in this chamber here. In the corner here, I've got what the hell is this? This is my humidistat. Basically program it to how much humidity I want in the chamber. I actually went higher. I have it set to, I think, like 92, and it's just not keeping up with it. So I've actually ordered a second House of Hydro pond fogger, and again, I'll go into that later. So actually, let me back up. So basically, I bought a second, God, what do you call it? I'm having the, I actually had notes, and then I left the damn notes at home. But I ordered a second, what is it called? A tent, like a hydroponics tent. Thank you. Hydroponics tent, and they zip up and whatever. They have a little window like here. So this one is smaller. I want to say this is like, I don't even know. Maybe it's a 6x8 or something like that. It's much smaller than the other room. But I have it smaller because I'm only going to have a couple of varieties of things in here. Sorry about this. I probably should have opened this up. So I'm going to have more cold weather varieties like my king oysters and shiitake in here. Right now, I just have some king oysters. And actually, I harvested yesterday. I've been harvesting kind of every day, but I harvested late last night, so there's not like tons of stuff that you can see in here. Some of these are doing really, really good. And I do have several restaurants. I think I have like 6 or 7 restaurants now that I'm selling to, and I'm actually selling through a co-op called Chesapeake Farm to Table. I'm in the Maryland, DCVA zone, so Chesapeake is awesome. And I'll talk more about co-ops when I'll do a video about getting your products into restaurants. Down here, I actually have some blue oyster mushrooms. It's fine being in this room. I have the other room, the bigger chamber, or fruiting chamber, fruiting room, whatever you want to call it. I have, that's where I do the other oysters, but I just kind of ran out of room. Then I stuck these here. But yeah, they're doing fabulous. I really love it. You can see here, I've got a lot of these hurricane fans. I probably have 8 of them between this room and the other room. And there's some up here. And I think I have another one. I actually just ordered another one. But that air, the mushrooms need a lot of air circulation, so I have them pointing towards one another. to create kind of turbid air. And then I've got this one kind of pointing down here. This is that pond fogger I was telling you about. And the fan is just, it's pushing the the humidity, the steam, smoke, not steam, but the vapors all throughout the chamber so that the mushrooms can stay nice and moist. But this here is a 3-disc pond fogger. I actually just ordered a, I'm going to say 6-disc for this room, just because I said it seems to like not being able to keep up with the with the humidity that I actually want. So that's pretty much it. I mean, this room, so this is a 3-shelf, 3-shelf unit. And it actually came with a shelf that would go here on the bottom. I kept it off though because I really want to be able to sweep under here, when you harvest and stuff, or if you like hit the damn block by accident like I've done so many times. A lot of your substrate and stuff falls on the floor. So I want to be able to get in there with a little hand broom or whatever to sweep up stuff. And also you see this water that forms here. I need to be able to vacuum that up. I actually use it with the shop vac. And yeah. So that's pretty much it for this room. And well, I go into the next room. Alright, this last room here is my large room. It's the one that was a bitch to set up. This is my 10 by 10 hydroponic tent. Don't mind those blocks there. I'm actually pulling those out and taking them outside. But just so you know, there's a really high spore count in here right now. I just had a lot of mushrooms that I harvested over the last couple of days, and there's a lot of spores. So just to take you inside of here, I'm gonna go ahead and put my mask on, so it'll probably be very muffled, but just hang on. Alright, this last room here is my large room. It's the one that was a bitch to set up. This is my 10 by 10 hydroponic tent. Don't mind those blocks there. I'm actually pulling those out and taking them outside. But just so you know, there's a really high spore count in here right now. I just had a lot of mushrooms that I harvested over the last couple of days, and there's a lot of spores. So just to take you inside of here, I'm gonna go ahead and put my mask on, so it'll probably be very muffled, but just hang on.
Okay, so one thing that no one told me about when you're doing and growing mushrooms in a fruiting room is that, I mean, I should have known, yeah, you got to grow it in a very humid environment, but that shit is a bitch on your hair. No one told me because there's mostly only dudes growing mushrooms, very few females. I don't know any females that have a YouTube channel. So bottom line, heck yeah, I got a damn shower cap on. You know why? Because I was tired of going to the damn hair salon, blowing my hair out every day because I looked a hot damn mess out of being in this humid environment all day. So crack if you want to, whatevs. I got my shower cap on and I've got my HEPA filter mask on so that I don't breathe in these spores. So as you can see, I definitely have a lot of mushrooms in here, a lot of blocks. Again, I've just harvested a lot. Let me turn around this way. I've got some yellow oyster mushrooms over there and king mushrooms, and I've got some blocks that have blue oyster mushrooms that I'm just waiting to start pinning. So I will turn the camera around. Okay, so with this room, like the other rooms, I've got a lot of fans in here. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, I think I got 4 fans, maybe another one. Actually, yeah, 5 fans. I could probably even use another one, but that's what I have for now. So I've got all these blocks. I think those are all blue oyster. And then again, I've got some more kings. And some of these kings are on their way out, but I still have them in here. This one is just starting to pin. You can see all the little pins there. And that one I've harvested a lot from, and that one too. So probably after these big ones are gone, I will rotate those out. But so far they're looking really, really good. These are all, again, blues that have not started pinning yet. I just put them in a few days ago, so we'll see what happens. But again, some really nice king oyster mushrooms, or king trumpets, they're called. So in here, I'm going to actually turn my light around. Actually, that doesn't really help. Never mind. And here, though, I actually have 2 discs. I have 2 ultrasonic misters from House of Hydro. I have a 12 disc and a 9 disc in there. And I kind of like having 2 because if one craps out, there's still another one. And then neither one of them has to work as long since there's the other one. So it should last longer, hopefully. So the last things in here, I do have more of the same shelving units, and then over here I've got the shelving unit that I made myself. I think I may have did a video on that. I don't know if I ever posted it, and it's because this shit fell over. And I didn't make it wide enough. As you see, I can only have 1 block on each shelf. I didn't make it freaking wide enough. And I actually did have more than 1 block on a shelf. I had like 2 here, like 1 in the back, 1 in the front, and it fell over. It just wasn't strong enough because I used electrical conduit PVC pipe and not the steel kind, the iron kind. So anyway, so here's some of the goldens that I have growing over here. One thing about golden oyster mushrooms and pink oyster mushrooms is that they need light. They need bright light, LED lights, so they can get that nice, bright golden color that you see here. If you don't have a whole lot of light, you're not going to get that really pretty color. They're just going to be very pale, pastel kind of yellow. So what I have here, I've got these shop lights from Home Depot. They're like 99 bucks each. I got 2 of them. 2 of them seems to be good enough for, again, this is 8 foot wide. I'm sorry, this is 10 by 10. So 2 of these lights seem to be good enough for a 10 feet space. And, as there's so much electrical equipment going in and out of here that freaked me the hell out at first, because the last thing I want is to be over here and get electrified. But all of the the plugs are all outside the tent. So we have all these not holes, but whatever, these little things that you can stick your outlets out. And so all the stuff is going, outside of the chamber. But anyway, so these Home Depot LED don't take up a lot of energy or electricity, and I recommend that you get the damn the insurance on it. It was a couple of dollars, because I bet these things they're meant for outdoor use, so I know they can stand some humidity. But they're going to crap out after a while. So I got the insurance, and whenever they crap out, I'm taking it back. Last thing here, that little thing right there is the sensor for the humidistat that lets the humidistat know, like, hey, I'm at the correct humidity or I'm not. And then down here, I need to sweep a little bit, and that's why, again, I left some space here and didn't do like here. That's technically the bottom shelf. That's how this shit's supposed to look. And if you notice, I can barely get down underneath there. If you're wondering what that purple juice is, that's spores. That's golden oyster mushroom spores. And what's happening is the spores are airborne, and with all the humidity, the fans are taking those spores, and they are they're like raining them down basically. And at first I was like, what the hell is this purple stuff? I thought it was some kind of mold or something, but it's actually spores. So I'm definitely trying to clean it up, and every couple of days I'm actually cleaning out the fans. But this is my exhaust fan that I have going outside. It's actually feeding outside to a Ventec fan. But again, all the electrical stuff I'll go into more as as I do some more videos. So that's about it for this grow chamber.
Okay, so that is it for my video for today. I hope that was a little helpful if you've never actually seen a grow room or an incubation room or a lab. And this mushroom thing, everyone's grow is going to be different. Mine, sorry, it's cold and I'm sick, but my grow is going to be very different from others because I'm using hydroponic tents. I've definitely had some challenges with the tints and some things that I've learned. I've had already some water issues, like water dripping out of the chamber, and I've learned now kind of how to avoid that. But anyway, so just so many things, but everyone's different. Some people are doing it in a garage, which if I could do it in my garage, I would, because you don't have to worry about messing up wood floors, which I have in here, and all that kind of stuff. And you can like spray the floors down and all that. I don't have that, which is why I had to use a hydroponic tent. So again, everyone's grow is different. This is just mine. This is what I had. And so yeah, if someone else, has a spare room or something that they want to use, this is a good way, especially on a small scale commercial production. This is a good option for you. So anyways, I hope that 2017 was fabulous for you all. I know that for me it really was, especially starting this whole mushroom business of mine. I can't believe that just like 3 months ago I didn't even know what the hell the word mycelium meant, and I set all this stuff up before I'd even grown my first mushroom, which is crazy now that I think about it. But I know myself, and I knew that I would love it. And I've been growing a lot of produce for a while now, so I knew that it would be a good fit. So, anyways, happy 2017. Tomorrow's New Year's Eve. Have a great New Year's Eve if you're watching this today. And I will be seeing you every week in 2018. Fingers crossed I can keep my resolution. Thanks so much for watching this year, you guys. Have a good one.